It is the popular saying that an healthy society is a wealthy one. On the Great Mind program, medical experts are available to provide solutions to various health challenges. You desire greatness in life. Successful men and women in the society are available on the Great Mind program to reveal to you the secrets to their greatness. The Great Mind of Nenti Osogbo is a watch for all. Meet me on the program every Sunday between 3:30 and 4 p.m.
This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. You are welcome to another educative moment with me, Bola Olayode, on the program The Great Mind. This week we are discussing the robust and juicy entitlements of the enrollees on the Osun Health Insurance Scheme. More so, we are using this medium to congratulate the newly appointed Chairman, Governing Board, Osun Health Insurance Agency, Dr. Muyiwa Oladimeji, on his appointment. From our hand here, we are joining the management and members of staff of Osun Health Insurance Agency to congratulate the Chairman, Governing Board, Osun Health Insurance Agency, on his appointment, and we wish him successful tenure. After the inauguration of the newly appointed Chairman, Governing Board, Osun Health Insurance Agency, Dr. Muyiwa Oladimeji, management and members of staff of Osun Health Insurance Agency were led by the Executive Secretary, Dr. Samuel Adeniyi to felicitate with the new chairman of the governing board of the agency, where they prayed for him for a successful tenure in office. Since the core values of Osun Health Insurance Agency rest solely on efficiency, quintessence, integrity, transparency, and empathy, the agency is in the tradition of organizing forum meetings with the enrollees on the Osun Health Insurance Scheme and the healthcare providers from the accredited hospitals across the local government areas of the state from time to time to ensure their strict compliance to the core values of the organization. The purpose of the forum meetings with the enrollees is to enlighten them on their rights and privileges. Enrollees on the Osun Health Insurance Scheme are entitled to robust USA healthcare packages under the primary level care. Enrollees are entitled to consultation with general practitioners and prescribed drugs, health prevention and promotion with family planning services, dental care, and HIV/AIDS testing services, management and treatment of simple infection and infestations such as malaria, respiratory tract infections, urinary tract infections, gastroenteritis, conjunctivitis, primary ear, nose and throat infections, urinary tract infections, diarrhea diseases, enteritis and typhoid fever, ehrlichiosis, schistosomiasis, pelvic inflammatory disease, mumps, skin infections, stroke infestations such as chickenpox, scabies, and fungal diseases, snake and scorpion bites. Under the management of minor injuries, the enrollees on the Osun Health Insurance Scheme are entitled to minor surgical operations such as incision and drainage, suturing of lacerations, minor burns, simple abrasions, excisions of limb, primary dental care. Under the management of non-communicable diseases, enrollees under Osun Health Insurance Scheme are entitled to screening and referral for cancers, diabetes, and hypertension, management of uncomplicated hypertension and diabetes, and management of neurosis. Under the special maternal, neonatal, and child health services, enrollees are entitled to antenatal care at most 4 visits, except emergencies, routine drugs to cover the duration of pregnancy, routine urine and blood tests, pelvic and obstetric scan at least twice, referral services with complication, management of simple sexual transmitted infections and urinary tract infections, including laboratory diagnosis, deworming, management of uncomplicated lower respiratory tract infection such as pneumonia, postnatal services, neonatal care, cord care, eye care, management of simple neonatal infections between 2 and 52 weeks. On the secondary level care, enrollees of Osun Health Insurance Scheme have the right to consultation and treatment by specialists such as surgeons, pediatricians, ophthalmologists, and others. Emergency cases outside place of residence. Admission maximum of 50 days, cumulative per year. Procedures that cannot be handled at primary level of care, such as treatment of moderate to severe infections and infestations, management of complicated RTIS, management of complicated typhoid fever and other related diseases, basic and comprehensive emergency obstetric. Enrollees under Osun Health Insurance Scheme are also entitled to management of preterm, pre-labor rupture of membrane, among which are detection and management of pre-eclampsia using magnesium sulfate, blood transfusion services, screening, management of postpartum hemorrhage, eclampsia, cesarean section, operative management of intrauterine fetal death, management of neonatal infections, management of puerperal sepsis, high-risk deliveries, first delivery, malpresentation, multiple deliveries, and others. Concerning surgeries, enrollees under Osun Health Insurance Scheme are entitled to appendectomy, hernia repair, hydrocelectomy, management of fracture using POPs, slicks, and others. Under dental care, enrollees are entitled to amalgam filling, simple and surgical tooth extraction. Enrollees under Osun Health Insurance Scheme are also entitled to the management of emergencies such as accidents, severe osmotic attack, severe shock, moderate to severe poisoning, and others. On psychiatry, enrollees are entitled to the management of psychosis. More so, enrollees under Osun Health Insurance Scheme are entitled to laboratory investigation at secondary level care, such as genotype, lumbar puncture, urea, stroke, electrolyte, creatinine, and the host of others. Osun Health Insurance Agency is in the habit of embarking on quality inspection tour to all the accredited hospitals across the state to ensure the strict adherence of the healthcare providers to core values of the agency, ensuring that the enrollees under Osun Health Insurance Scheme are not deprived of their rights and privileges.
The government has made a commitment, and I want to reiterate the commitment of His Excellency Senator Ademola Nuruddin Jackson Adeleke to expand health insurance in Osun State. And as I stand here, there is no private or government hospital that we have not paid the capitation as and when due. In order to ensure availability of medicines, particularly in our government hospitals, we established the Drug Distribution Center, which is an initiative of OSHIA and is the only one in the whole of the country, providing access to medicines and consumables for service providers, particularly government service providers, so that they can have these drugs as contained in our essential medical medicines list without having to think about paying. There will be sanctions for people who do not follow the provisions of the law.
Director, Department of Standard and Quality Assurance, Dr. Shina Ibalaye, reveals the measures being put in place by Osun Health Insurance Agency to ensure the optimal performance of the healthcare providers to the advantage of the enrollees.
I also want to talk about the lab checks, the measures that we have put in place to ensure that our hospitals are being monitored and also giving good quality service to our enrollees. I need to say this, we do not take that lightly, we do not take it for granted. We believe so much in the facility delivering on its mandate. So the agency, of course, is saddled with the responsibility, as being a regulator, saddled with the responsibility to ensure that, to protect the interest of all the stakeholders, protect the interest of the enrollee, also protect the interest of the hospital. And then through that, we ensure that the money being deducted from the civil servant and the money being paid by the enrollees are put to judicious use. What do? We engage HMO, Health Maintenance Organization. They are more like an intermediary between the agency and the hospital. And then what do? They ensure that they carry out checks from time to time on the facility. They also carry out checks from time to time on the enrollees. They confirm the eligibility status of the enrollee. For example, we may have some enrollees that have retired from service. We may have some enrollees that have exited the scheme, the informal sector, that have not renewed their subscription. These are ways of which the HMOs ensure that we do not have such. Or once we have them, once their time elapses, then they exit the scheme. On the part of the hospital, the HMOs carry out quality assurance checks, quality assurance visitation to those places. We also have our business officers. We have business officers across all the local governments in the state. From that, the business officers go from time to time. They carry out quality inspection visitation to the hospitals, both private and public, and they give us the feedback regarding their findings. Of course, their findings are submitted, their reports are submitted on a monthly basis, and from there we are able to check. And then even the agency, the staff of the agency, led by the executive secretary, goes to the facility, do a spot checking. They go from time to time to also check what is being done in our facility. Once they get there, we have our checklist. We have quite a lot of things that some parameters that they check: the timeliness, the neatness, the hygiene of the environment, the reception, apart from the reception, the consulting room. What are the things, the devices, the tools, the equipment that are supposed to be in the wards, in the labor room, in the theater? All of these are checked. All of these are put in place, and then they also try to be patient-centeredness to ensure that the right thing at the right time is being done for our enrollees, so that the enrollees, because the normal consultation time, the normal time of waiting period before consultation shouldn't be more than 30 minutes. By the time our enrollee is getting there and they are being delayed for more than 1 hour, 2 hours, it calls for concern. So these are things that we ensure that we do. Apart from this, there was late last year, the agency engaged the service of a mystery shopper. Of course, we engaged an organization that conducted mystery shopping on those facilities. They went there with a dummy card, like serving like an agent, decoy, and they went to those facilities and they recorded both audio and video of all of the interaction or all of the things that happened in those facilities. And with that, they were able to submit the report, which we viewed. Both the audio and the video and live coverage, and then that also helped the agency in a great deal. Beyond that is the fact that, as I said, the agency conducts, from time to time, this kind of spot checking. We go there personally. Sometimes I lead the team, sometimes the executive secretary will lead the team, and then we go to those facilities to ensure that the right things are done. We check their pharmacy to ensure that drugs are dispensed to our enrollees. And then apart from that, we also go for time. Just recently, about 2 weeks ago, we were at Union Teaching Hospital where we had a meeting with the management, and then of course it was a fruitful discussion where we ensured that good services have been delivered to our enrollees, and we must say we must commend the effort of the some facilities that are doing very well, that are treating our enrollees quite well, and we ensure that we encourage them that many more good things should also be delivered to them, many more good services should also be given to our enrollees, and then the agency will never renege and they already renege on the mandate being given to us and the dispense that we are giving to those facilities.
Since no worthwhile achievement can be made in life without sound earth, this is what informs the reason for the management and members of staff for Osun Health Insurance Agency to regard the enrollees under Osun Health Insurance Scheme as kings and queens by ensuring that they are given preferential treatment by the healthcare providers at the accredited hospitals across the local government areas of the state. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sábàlá ètò ìlédè abínibí wa. Ohun tí a pẹ̀kẹ́rù lẹ́ni lórí ètò ni àwọn mùdùmúdù tó ṣòro sí ìkópa nínú ètò ìdójútòfò ìlera ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Àti pé a tún lo àkókò yìí láti fi kí alága fún ìgbìmọ̀ adarí àjọ ìdójútòfò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun kú oríire ìyànsípò wọn. A kí wọn kú oríire, a sì tún lo àsìkò yìí láti fi darapọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn adarí àti òṣìṣẹ́ àjọ adójútòfò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun láti fi gbàdúrà fún alága ọ̀tún náà kí Olódùmarè fún wọn ní àṣeyọrí sí lórí ipò náà tí wọ́n yàn wọ́n sí. Bó ti ṣe jẹ́ wípé lára àwọn òpó tí àjọ ìtòfò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun rọ̀gbọ̀kú lé lórí láti máa fi ṣiṣẹ́ ní ìjáfáfá lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú ìbẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run, ìfọmọlúàbí ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú àkóyawọ́. Èyí ló ṣokùnfà bí àjọ náà ti ṣe máa ń ṣe ìfúnkúnlukùn lóòrèkóòrè pẹ̀lú àwọn olùkópa nínú ètò ìdójútòfò ìlera pẹ̀lú àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ilé ìwòsàn tí wọ́n fòǹtẹ̀lù láti máa pèsè ìlera fún àwọn ènìyàn. Níbi irú ìfúnkúnlukùn pẹ̀lú àwọn tọ́rọ̀ kàn náà ni wọ́n ti máa ń jẹ́ kí àwọn olùkópa nínú ètò ìdójútòfò ìlera mọ ẹ̀tọ́ wọn pẹ̀lú oríṣiríṣi mùdùmúdù tí wọ́n ní àǹfààní sí lábẹ́ òfin nínú ètò ìdójútòfò ìlera. Oríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà sì ni àjọ ìdójútòfò ìlera ń gbà láti rí i dájú pé wọ́n kò fi ẹ̀tọ́ àwọn olùkópa dùn wọ́n.
Gbogbo àwọn onílé ìwòsàn aládàáni èyí tí a ti fòǹtẹ̀jàn wípé wọ́n kájú òṣùwọ̀n láti máa pèsè ètò ìlera fún àwọn tí wọ́n ní káàdì adójútòfò ìlera tá ń pè ní OIC lọ́wọ́, òun náà ni wípé wọ́n ti rí ibi kùdìẹ̀kudiẹ èyí tó kù nínú iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe. A dẹ̀ rí wípé tí wọn ò bá ṣe bó ṣe tọ́ àti bó ṣe yẹ, àwọn èèyàn wọn ò ní gbárùkù ti ètò yìí, wọn ò ní wá sanwó fún ètò yìí. Ṣùgbọ́n tí wọ́n bá ń ṣe dáadáa, a rí wípé àwọn èrò á máa pọ̀ sí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá dẹ̀ ṣe ń pọ̀ sí, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni àǹfààní gbogbo yẹn ṣe máa pọ̀ sí. Ẹni tí ó ń pèsè ìtọ́jú a máa rówó sí, ẹni tán tọ́jú òun náà máa rí àlàáfíà. Ara nǹkan tí ó wà ńbẹ̀ nìyẹn. So èkejì òun náà ni wípé gómìnà wa wọ́n ní wípé àwọn fẹ́ kí ètò adójútòfò ìlera nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun tó ń bọ̀ ní OIC kó gbòòrò sí, torí wípé àwọn tí wọ́n ń pèsè ètò ìlera tí wọn ò bá ṣe bó ti tọ́ àti bó ti yẹ, àwọn èèyàn ò ní wá sínú ètò adójútòfò ìlera nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun yìí mọ́. So bẹ́ẹ̀ tán bá ti ń ṣe bó ti yẹ kán ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bá ti kọ́ sínú ìwé, a rí pé àwọn èèyàn mọ̀ pọ̀ sí ni èròǹgbà gómìnà yóò wá di mímúṣẹ.
Lórí ọ̀nà tí a fi ń tọ́jú àwọn hospitals wa, tá a fi ń yẹ̀ wọ́n wò láti ìjọ kan ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ka ṣe ọ̀nà pọ̀ lóríṣiríṣi tó ráà náà ara iṣẹ́ tí ara ìgbọ́n ilé tó yẹ ká ń ṣe ni àwọn HMOs tó jẹ́ bí alárinà láàrin àwa àti àwọn hospital. Àwọn HMO àbẹ̀ kan máa lọ láti lọ yẹ àwọn hospital tán bá débẹ̀ wọ́n wo nínú hospital, wọ́n wo consulting, wọ́n wo reception, wọ́n wo every wọ́n á dẹ̀ rí pé everything wà okay. Tí ò bá dẹ̀ ń ṣe àwọn yẹn náà, a ní àwọn business officers, àwọn staff wa tó wà ní gbogbo local government kọ̀ọ̀kan náà wà. From time to time wọ́n á lọ káàkiri láti lọ wo àwọn hospital yìí, wọ́n yẹ inú ilé wọn, wọ́n á yọ consulting, wọ́n á yọ irinṣẹ́, wọ́n á wo theatre, wọ́n wo ibi tán tí ń gbà, wọ́n á wo everything. Wọ́n máa wò tán wọ́n wá rí wípé tó bá rí kó dá wọ́n dẹ̀ submit report fún wa ìyẹn ni agency wa la máa ṣe kí ni la máa ṣiṣẹ́ lé lórí àwa staff gan látòrí ọ̀gá wa Dr. Níyọ̀ Ògìní àwọn náà wọ́n máa ń jáde táwa director náà ká máa tẹ̀lé wọn láti ní ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ṣe nǹkan a máa lọ sáwọn hospital láti lọ yẹ̀ wọ́n wò láti wò ṣé wọ́n ṣe bó ṣe yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe torí àwa ṣe torí kí ni nǹkan tó yẹ káwa ṣe látọ̀dọ̀ tiwa owó tó yẹ ká san fún wa à ń san tí ò dé ìyẹn rárá so gbogbo àwọn ọ̀nà yìí àtọ̀ sí ẹgbẹ́ rẹ̀ ní last year a gba àwọn nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé àwọn náà a gbéṣẹ́ lé wọn lọ́wọ́ pé kán lọ sí gbogbo àwọn hospital wọn tí wọ́n lọ tí wọ́n mú káàdì lọ́wọ́ táwọn náà tán ṣe tán dàbí wọ́n dàbí pẹ̀yìn rolí wọ́n dẹ̀ lọ sí hospital láti lọ gbà tọ́jú bẹ̀ wọ́n dẹ̀ rẹ́kọ̀dù audio wọ́n dẹ̀ tó rẹ́kọ̀dù fídíò láti wọ́n ṣe tọ́jú wọn sí wọ́n ṣe tọ́jú wọn bí gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣe rí ibi tí ó dọ̀tí ibi tí wọ́n fi tẹ́jẹ̀ wà ibi tí mo tíátà àwọn gbogbo ìní wọn náà yẹ̀wò àwọn ènìyàn ò dẹ̀ mọ̀ wípé àwọn record àwọn so wọ́n dẹ̀ submit fún agency so gbogbo àwọn yìí ní àwọn ọ̀nà tá a fi máa wò tó dẹ̀ ràn wá lọ́wọ́ tá a dẹ̀ fi ń gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tá a fi ń check wọn tó bá di pé a dẹ̀ máa ń ṣe ìpàdé from time to time pẹ̀lú àwọn hospital àti máa ṣe ìpàdé pẹ̀lú àwọn ìjẹ̀mú náà tá a dẹ̀ máa yọ fún wọn just recently bí 2 weeks ago la lọ ṣe ìpàdé pẹ̀lú àwọn Union Osun Teaching Hospital pẹ̀lú CMD àtàwọn ọ̀gá lọ́gà àwọn tá a dẹ̀ sọ fún wọn kájọ fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ láti gbé kẹ́ni ká fi lè rí nǹkan tó dáa ká lè rí kó lè so èso rere so gbogbo àwọn ọ̀nà tá à ń ṣe láti fi make sure wípé sáfíìsì wa àtàwọn bọ́ńṣẹ́ tó dà wọn wa ó ṣe dáa ó dẹ̀ tún dáa ju bó ti ṣe wà lọ.
níbi tí a máa fi àdàgbé ètò rọ̀ sílẹ̀ yìí lónìí ẹ jẹ́ kí alùjọ pàdé ní ọ̀sẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ fún àkọ́tún ìtòrí kan náà láṣẹ Olódùmarè ọba àṣẹ̀dá jẹ́ tí ìgbà náà rí ni.